Welcome back to Ask Rad Rat, where I answer all of your questions about skateboarding and the skateboarding world in general. One of the big ones for today is about mall grabs, and a lot of people have asked me about this. A couple of names are HX Williams, Anthony Tran, Anson Eldred. These guys have all asked me to talk about the mall grab. So before, I've always linked to this Jenkum article that does some research on the topic, and if it's something you're really interested in, you should check that out. There's a lot of different quotes from different people about where it came from. But the name of it basically is kind of obvious. It's just kids who would skate to the mall and then just carry their boards around the mall and then skate home. You know, not like they're actually out skating, they're just kind of using it for travel. And there's nothing really wrong with that, but the way that you're holding the board by the truck kind of implies a couple of things. So first of all, if you actually skate and you do tricks and grinds and everything, your trucks are going to be all like torn up and the metal's going to be all jagged. You're probably not going to want to carry it there. So the idea is sort of like it's a hint that they don't actually skate and do tricks. And the other thing is that it kind of looks more like somebody who's carrying a board around as an accessory, just to look like they skate. You know, like the guy in college who carries around his guitar, but he doesn't actually play, just kind of like a fashion accessory. And so that's a couple different issues with it. And this wasn't always a thing. Back when I first started skateboarding, I don't remember ever hearing this term or anyone ever talking bad about it. And this is in high school where you would pick out anything about somebody, and I've never even heard somebody complain about that until the last few years. And in fact, somebody in the comments of that the article that I mentioned, he said he's been skating for 28 years and that's how he carries his board. And that's how he's always done it, and it was never a problem until recently. And so it's kind of an interesting thing where this has just become like an insider, like fashion thing in skateboarding. And so you can tell someone's outside of skateboarding if they don't know about it. But you know, carrying your board by his truck isn't really that big of a deal in itself. But then there was this other comment from somebody, you have to check the article for details on that, but he was saying that in the 80s, the vert guys would all carry their boards by the truck. But then in the 90s, if you were a street skater, you wanted to differentiate yourselves from those guys. And so they would do everything differently. You know, they would dress differently, they would act differently. And one of the things that they would do is they would hold their boards differently too. So they would hold it by the deck, you know, sideways. And so just doing it like that, you know, as vert died out, their styles kind of got to be uncool to a degree. There's also talk about this ad for Big Brother around 2000 that shows a kid holding his board like that. But, you know, I don't know when exactly it came around. It's kind of hard to say. I think the name is pretty recent, but personally, I don't think it's a big deal. But, I mean, I don't know. Let me know your ideas about this. What are your comments? Do you really care? Is it something that you instantly notice about somebody if they're carrying their board wrong? Does it really matter? To me, I don't think it's a big deal. All right, my second question is from Caleb Candoval, who wants to know, what is the one trick you always wanted to learn but you haven't? So a few years ago, I decided I was going to do every 180 flip trick you can do. So there's kick flips and heel flips, front side and back side, and then all four stances. There's 16 total. And so I was trying to knock them all out. I had all the kickflip ones, not too bad. Switch frontside flip was a little bit hard, but I got it. And then some of the heel flip ones really tripped me up. A regular frontside heel flip was really hard for me. And then I got them all. And then the one I never landed was a switch backside heel. It just does not work in my head. I can set up right, I can pop and flick, and then the board just kind of hits the ground and dies. Like I didn't pop it hard enough. Okay, so I pop it harder, then the board doesn't flip. Okay, so I focus, I pop it and I flip it, and then I realize I didn't spin. That trick did not work for me, and I really wanted to do it just to cross it off the list and say that I did it, but I was never able to pull it off. Hopefully at some point in the future, I'll give it another shot, and I'll be able to land it. But that's the one trick that I never really got. Well, that's it for this time. Thank you for all the great questions you've given me in the comments below or on Instagram or Twitter, which I have links to in the description. Ask me your questions for next time. So thank you for doing this so far. I've been staying really busy with all these questions, but there have been a lot of great ones that I've really enjoyed doing so far, so I'll keep it up. Until next time, here are a lot more videos that I've done lately If this is your first time on the channel, I do a lot more than just these question and answer videos. I also do different sorts of research topics. I look at old skateboarding video games as a skateboarder, things like that. So if any of that sounds good to you, hit the subscribe button, and thank you for watching.